Hey everyone out there on Facebook. Tell you, my timeline has been blowing up since last night when I shared a couple videos I had taken of my lunch yesterday with grilled cheese sandwich and still today. So wanted to share a little bit about it because I never realized, living keto for 20 months now, I did not realize how much I miss bread. It just was out of my mind and didn't think about it, never bought it. It just wasn't an issue until a friend of mine gave me this incredible and messaged me for the recipe, flatbread recipe that has been a game changer. It is so versatile. So the key is, I have some recipes, you probably have too, the fathead pizza or the fathead bread. I'm not a real fan of that. It's just a little too heavy for me and just didn't really satisfy me. Where this flatbread is so good. It doesn't have almond flour. It doesn't have coconut flour even. Its main, what holds it together is pork rinds, which I've never had before, but once I got this recipe, it's like I've got to. So this is about 1.5 cups. The recipe calls for 1 cup. My friend who shared the recipe mentioned do the whole bag, which actually is 2 cups. I did that on my first try with the flatbread recipe, and it just seemed a little heavy on the pork rinds. Just my opinion. So I've adapted it to 1.5 cups of the pork rinds and a brick of cream cheese and mozzarella and a few other ingredients, and it's so delicious. I've cut it in kind of a thicker slices here. I have Italian seasoning on top. And so I have my butter, right? Don't we love the keto lifestyle? Because we can have what we've been always told you can't have, and that's one of them is butter. So here goes with the butter there, and I did about 2 tablespoons. And what's gonna happen is once I'm done with my sandwich, I'm gonna add to the pan of butter asparagus. So that's going to be my dinner. Let me just put this bread on here and let it just sizzle away. I don't know if you can hear that sizzling. It's a little bit away from you. What I really enjoy is, and I talk about this all the time, is my devices, my cooking apparatuses. I do not use my oven. I do not use my stove. I know it's crazy and barbaric. I have the New Wave oven that does all my stove needs, and then this precision induction cooktop from New Wave as well is awesome. It just takes so far less energy, and what I really like is, see how right here, I don't know if you can see that, it has the exact temperature and it turns on and off like that. It also has a timer, so I can, I've told you before, I'm going to add a little bit of time here, I am distractible. My family knows it, my friends know it, my high school friends know it. I mean, I'm 60, they still know that I'm just this distractible person. So it's nice to have something that has the time on it. So just sizzling away there and letting, here I'm going to actually turn it up just a little bit temperature wise. Get a little bit more cooking. The cheese melts really well. And I love the extra butter on the crust, the bread. And the cheese that I use is, I found this to be really helpful. It says Colby Jack. And what I really like is it has, you know, the paper dividers, easy to do. Sometimes I just lay that on my broccoli or cauliflower when I'm cooking that as well. And there, this is cooking slower than it did yesterday, but it's still going to be delicious. Who all is out there? Hey, Sarah, love you. I know bread for sure, right? You are my biggest fan, Sarah. Love you so much. I see Luann. I see Jeremy. I see a bunch of you guys who are out and about on Facebook because it is kind of that dinner hour, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day. It's beautiful here, absolutely beautiful. So, yeah, when you go live, you never know what's going to happen. But regardless, the bread is somehow, and I've had some people already get back to me. My friend Cindy in Hawaii, she's already made it. she got, instead of, because I put rosemary, dried rosemary, thyme, oregano, and basil on the top, along with garlic powder. Before I cook it, she said she had some, I think, rosemary and basil out in the garden, so she used that along with some dried, and it was absolutely delicious. It's now sizzling, and she had it on tuna sandwich, and she said best sandwich ever. So again, this is grilled cheese. It could be anything. I've had pulled pork, my great butcher box of meat that I get that's grass fed. I just finished up pulled pork from the pork loin roast that I did Instapot, best way to cook that. And I would just put the pulled pork on top of one of these slices with keto barbecue sauce. It's so delicious, and I love that. But yesterday, when on just a whim, it's like, you know what? I've got cheese, I've got bread. I'm kind of feeling like a grilled cheese sandwich, which hasn't been for 20 months, right? And I did that before I headed out to my daughter's and to see my 11-month-old granddaughter too. And it was so, so delicious that it was, I've been enjoying the bread with my pulled pork, but seriously, until I had the grilled cheese, it was like, this is heaven. And for anyone who is out there and may have stumbled onto this video wondering, you know, what is keto or what's this grilled cheese sandwich thing you're doing? Often people, we just look at breads, potatoes, rice, pastas. Those are things that have really, and they crippled me. I mean, they thought they were okay, but I had 20 plus pounds of belly, embarrassing belly here that I could not get rid of, even eating organic, doing everything I thought was good for my body, the nurse in me and all the education I was, you know, reading up and research, right? You can research everything. But until I got keto, I didn't realize what was happening with those type of foods on my gut health, which I had really poor gut health. And so bread was, you know, okay, I'm going to get rid of bread, and really believed I'm okay with that. And I have been for 20 months until I got this recipe, and it's like, man, because I have to back up. A couple weeks ago, I did stumble across this cookbook is awesome, soft roll recipe pretzels. So that was big game changer. Those are amazing. So I love those too, but this is like, man, it's so substantial and wonderful. So anyway, it's done. The cheese is melted, the bread is crispy and cooked thoroughly, nice and brown. So I'm going to set that there. I still have the butter in the pan, and there goes that great sizzle. And cooking these probably about 4 more minutes. Let me check my timer. Add a little time here. See how simple this is? It's just, I love it, love it, love it. We'll never go back, regardless. Yep, there we go. And with this, I'm going to add some ground pepper, as well as, and on keto, there's one mineral that we don't get enough of, and that is salt. It has the minerals in it. And so here's some sea salt, the best kind, that's packed with great trace minerals, and that's going to be my dinner. Going to be substantial, going to be filling, and I'm not going to be overly stuffed. I'm not going to be that feeling of bloating or regrets of, you know, why did I have that? It's like, no, we live and eat in a way that there aren't regrets. I mean, if we do, I'm getting a little bit out there. If we do step off of keto for a meal or something is in there that wasn't fully keto, it's a forgiving lifestyle. And you just put your pants back on and say, okay, I'm back on, and get right back in, and you're doing great. I had a gal, Tammy, who's new, just a week in, and wanted the recipe, and she's not new to this, so definitely pointed her toward the Magic Pill, asked her if she'd seen that, and she said no, so directed her to themagicpill.info to watch that documentary. Also recommended to her the Senza app. That's Keto Focus, which is fabulous. because you can really figure out your macros there. You can put a recipe into that app and it will break it down, the macros for you, so you know, okay, I'm good on the fats, because the fats we tend to not hit our macros. We've been so brainwashed to believe that fats are bad that we're like, oh, I just don't think, and it's like, no, like the butter. There it is, good, enjoy it, It's good for your body, it helps you stay in ketosis and burn the fat. So it's just a fabulous, fabulous lifestyle. So if you haven't started the keto lifestyle, themagicpill.info, definitely go there, watch that documentary. Love the people who did it. There's no agenda, it's information. We want to educate you. And then the Senza, S-E-N-Z-A app is great. I do it really just for putting together some recipes and making sure that it's okay, but otherwise I don't really use any apps. I kind of have an idea of 2 healthy fats a meal, a protein, 3 to 4 ounces of protein, and then a carb, which is about 1 to 2 cups. And the asparagus is giving me my carbs, and I'm getting some a little bit, not heavy, because the pork rinds, the cream cheese, the mozzarella are like hardly anything as far as carbs. So it's crazy. Read bread, read your labels. You'll be shocked. Oh my gosh, there's sugar in this? I never knew. Oh my goodness, there's that many carbs? Yeah, I never knew. There's sugar that's hidden in so many of our foods, and that's another culprit. A wicked culprit. I call sugar evil. It is evil. There's one of the most evil things, it is sugar. It is more addicting than cocaine is. So, and it just messes with our mind and messes with our body and our gut health. So that's it. That's my dinner. Definitely post if this is a replay. Post replay if you want the recipe to this delicious Italian or whatever you want to do. You could make cinnamon bread. Oh, the taste of butter is so good. Butter and bacon, right? And in fact, I do have a cookbook titled Bacon and Butter, because they are, those were just the evils. So yeah, message me, let me know where you're checking in from, and really also I'd love to know, how long have you been living keto, if you're living the keto lifestyle. Love hearing the newbies out there, the beginners, and also maybe, and you may not want to post, but I'd love a private message. What was it that had you taken that step and just saying, okay, I'm ready to go forward with this? I've heard so much, maybe your medical reasons. Share. And even really in this post, share. You can change lives with your why and your reason, because others are going to go, well, wait, that's kind of where I was, and that person did change, to keto, and it's making a difference in their health. I have one good friend from a business we did, mortgage reduction business years and years and years ago, and she messaged me, please send me the recipe. It's like, how long, Elaine, have you been doing keto? And she says, well, kind of played with it for 4 years. She has MS, and it's like, I never knew you were diagnosed with that. I had no idea. See, my grandfather, age of 35, was diagnosed with MS, lived over half of his life with MS, and I mean, growing up, I especially didn't live near him when I was young, but we'd go visit, and just the memories of that, and it's impacting. I have a disease, complex regional pain syndrome, and life is hard, but we all have life hard, right? So when Elaine messaged me, or we had that conversation, it was like, wow. So her why, right? The health benefits, I'm not going to go into them. You research for yourself. I'm not making any claims whatsoever. But boy, if we can, that's the nurse in me. My mom died of cancer when I was 18. We had 4 grateful years. We had an accident right before my freshman year that was a bizarre car accident, absolutely bizarre circumstances. And my sister, my dad, and I had minor injuries. My mom had a dislocated ankle. And she's smoking, puts her hands on the dashboard. I'm over here in the back seat watching, going, oh my God. An RV had cut in front of us pulling a boat. When the light turned yellow, my dad had no way to stop. It wasn't time. So why on earth did this RV decided to do that. It was crazy. There wasn't really any traffic behind us, like Seattle traffic. We were in Ogden. But Mom got taken by ambulance, was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Traction, they didn't do surgery, traction. And she'd been having abdominal issues for a long time. And our family doctor, she was having him, and everything was like, Jacqueline, you're fine. Can't find anything. And here she's in the hospital. She's like, test me. Do whatever you need to. I'm here. Do tests. No big deal. I'm not going anywhere. And man, found she had colon cancer. We would not have. At that point, family doctor hadn't found it. She would have gone on. I would have lost my mom at the age of 14. And many of you, some of you may have lost a parent that young. Oh my goodness, 18 was tough. But I had my high school year, those really precious high school years with my mom. And 2 weeks before I went to college, she passed away. And, you know, there's reasons and, you know, things, situation, but that took me from a high school student whose counselor said, don't ever go into science or math, because I wasn't really proficient in those areas. I had challenges. So it was like, okay, that's ingrained in me. I'm not smart. So I was going to be a medical secretary because I wanted to do something medical. For 4 years, I lived in and out of clinics and hospitals, and my mom, it was right before hospice was started, so her last week was in the hospital. And just the nursing staff, and when she passed, it was, I just wanted to give back to people the way those nurses had given to us, you know, the whole 4 years. So I believed that was my only avenue into the medical field, was being a medical secretary. So it got me started, right? Went to the U of U for a year, got my medical secretary certificate, worked at Schrodinger's Children's Hospital in Salt Lake and loved it. Worked for the executive director there, and oh my gosh, I loved working with kids. Even when I was doing my medical secretary degree, I was doing volunteer work at the U of U hospital. Pediatrics. It's so weird. You look back on your life and it's like, God had a hand on me way back then. Why was it everything I did pediatrics? It just was, he just put that on my heart. So I just loved being with kids in that hospital with muscular dystrophy and being an advocate for them, and loved that. Then went to Schrodinger's Children's Hospital, and it was just fabulous. It was so much fun. And then just realized I just need to get out of the area. I need to go down back to Tucson where I was born. And yes, I'd be leaving my dad. That was hard, but I wanted to be down with my Arizona family. And went down and worked at the U of A hospital. Again, get this, pediatrics for 6 pediatricians there at the clinic, and was a medical secretary. Go figure, right? Really enjoyed it. I'd go into the clinic there and take things and that, and one of the nurse practitioners there changed my life. She pulled me aside and said, Cathy, you can do so much more. You should become a nurse. I wish we had Facebook back then, because I would have made sure I was a friend of hers and stayed in touch with her, but we didn't, right? So I haven't had a way to keep in touch with her, but my dad got remarried right at that time. So even though I've been in Tucson for just 6 months, I moved back to Utah to be close to my new family. And it's something my mom wanted. I heard her say, I was the youngest, and so I was the only one home at her last year, is like, Roger, you need to remarry. And he'd be like, Jacqueline, stop it. But I heard it. So when he took that step and that stage, I embraced it, and I wanted to be back with them. So went out to Utah, went back to the U of U, and failed chemistry and math. Fail math. I failed. So there's the counselor in me going, I told you, Cathy, you don't go into those fields. So God just stayed with me and said, check out private schools. I had a friend who was going to Westminster College, a small, brings tears, small private college there in Salt Lake, and applied, got accepted, and I soared. It's something when you go to this big, huge school where you feel like a nobody and you doubt yourself, right? You doubt yourself. I'm not like them. But then you go to this small, wonderful community. and you flourish. You just, you bloom where you're planted, right? And I ended up graduating cum laude. I was the State Nurses Association treasurer. I was the president of the Westminster School Nurses Organization. I mean, seriously, my counselor would have gone, mind blown. That was not the you I thought. So anyway, that's just to say I pursued and accomplished what was in my heart, but I allowed others to make me feel less of an individual. So, but God just kept me, and then I went to become a school nurse again, pediatrics, right? It's just awesome. So I love to hear stories. That's my why for becoming a nurse. And then my why for the keto, I just was feeling miserable. My disease was just ruling my life. It had control of my life. I was totally sedentary. I was so much fatigue. I still deal with that, but not to that degree. Very unhealthy, very heavy, and it was mushrooming. I mean, we have muffin tops, right? But then there's this mushroom of a body that's like, that's not me. What happened? And you give up hope. It's like, I'm doing organic, I'm juicing, I'm turmeric, I'm doing all this stuff, and it's like, I'm not making a difference. And then in walks keto. It's like, where has this been? Are you kidding me? 100 years this has been around, and it was developed by doctors for certain health issues. Wow. Okay, I'm taking the plunge, and man, did I ever. I just realized my food's gonna be home and I can heat it up. I didn't mean to digress, but you guys, you may be on that road. You may feel less of a person than you really are. I want to tell you, you are worthy, you are honored, you are blessed, you are just, I mean, God knew you before you were born. He believes in you. He has such great plans for you. And until we can start, plans don't always happen until we can start feeling better about ourselves, better about our bodies, and having better health, that we can like, okay, maybe I can become that person. Now, let me tell you, there are people who are unhealthy and overweight who are making a huge difference in God's kingdom. They are. Oh, I just applaud them. Rock stars. For me, it just kept me feeling defeated. So now I feel like, okay, now I have a voice, and the nurse in me is so thrilled because I haven't been in the nursing field for 22 years since I acquired this disease following just a stupid random volleyball injury. Coached volleyball, and it's like, and I wasn't coaching that at that moment. I was with my daughter's club volleyball team in her 7th grade year, and just was playing, and just a fluky thing that happened. It took me out of being able to soccer. It takes me out of, I can't run, I can't jump, I can't do a lot of things, but I can do something. And when I lost the weight, I was able to be like, I'm moving every day. Yes, it hurts, my ankle, my foot. Yes, it hurts, but I'm still going to move, and I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to increase my bone density, and I'm going to become a better version of me now at 60. So I just recommend, if you're checking into keto, or if you're living keto and you feel like, I don't want to really talk to other people about it, let go of that. Let go of that. There are people out there praying, lost hope, lost vision for what is their life can be. And they need you to say, oh my goodness, I'm living keto and it's made a huge difference. Let me share with you what it is and what it isn't. And oh, by the way, I have a great grilled cheese recipe that if you think you can't do without bread, I can give you this recipe. So anyway, so message me, I'll get you that recipe. And people ask me, why don't you post the recipe? You know why? I like to get to know you and ask some questions with no other motive, but just to encourage you and support you, and also give you a little bit of the tips about the recipe. And so yeah, have a wonderful evening, have a great Sunday, and just know that you are here for a purpose, and it's so much more than often we think it is. So Just pray to God, give me wisdom, give me direction, help me know. Man, maybe you're not going to church because you were disillusioned. Ask God, lead me to a church to go check out and see if it's a fit. And just see God at work. And you'll be surprised at where he'll place you in the lives of others with no judgment, right? And you know, your heart will be touched. You'll be blessed. You'll have peace that surpasses all understanding in the worst and darkest times of your life. And when things happen to you, you'll be able to look beyond them and say, God, I will give you glory, and I know you will get me through this because you are a good God, and all things, no matter if they're good or bad, turn out good because you are the one who is able to make me more and do more and believe more. But we need to take that step and say, Jesus, I welcome you into my life. I take off the chains of control. I let go of having to have my life written out for me. I say, you take control. You take the reins from me and let me sit behind you, and I will go where you lead me, because I know the best is yet to come, and it is going to be glorious. And oh my goodness, when that day comes, when I take my last breath, my girls know this. I am going to be in the face of Jesus, and no regrets and no more tears. And with that in mind, my daughter, she is so sweet. Years back, I don't know if you remember it. Here's another random thing, but there was that prophecy, right, or something, that it's end of times and it's the rapture, and it was like they spelled out the day and the minute. And I'm down at a volleyball clinic down at in Portland at Portland State University with some other coaches from the high school, and we're going for lunch, and my daughter calls me, Jackie calls me, and I answer, hi Jackie, hi. She goes, oh my gosh, okay mom, woo, all right. So it's not true, because she said, if the rapture did happen, you are one who would not be here. And that was such an honor. I mean, it seriously was. She said, of all people, if there was one person who would be taken in the rapture, it would be you. So who are you influencing in your life? Not forcing, right? We don't force anything, but we just show them our life and how we live it out. And I had a daughter who had a hard pregnancy, and it just warms my heart because it was really a tough pregnancy, even for her to get pregnant. And keto, I really firmly believe, helped her with her PCOS and other things that she was doing with her husband and infertility. So there was this whole picture, but I just knew, I knew every time there was this urgency of things going possibly wrong, it was like, Lord, this baby is going to be full term. This baby. And then when we knew it was a girl, it's like, she's going to be full term. And I didn't think about it or realize it until after the fact. But this baby girl, who was a miracle baby girl, was born on the day, not the day before, she would have been considered preemie, the day that she was considered full term. And I knew it. I knew without a doubt. All this uncertainty, all these emergency room visits, all these struggles and questioning. It was like, Lord, I stand firm in you. This baby girl, she's going to be full term. And oh my gosh, she's so adorable. She's 11 months old, cruising. And also the day that she went into early labor, the hospital was like, oh, it's going to take you probably tomorrow, which would have been Halloween. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm not a Halloween. That isn't a holiday I've ever enjoyed. I mean, it's fun, whatever, but it's just not, anyway. So it's like, and I camped out, I picked up my grandson who's 8 and took care of him after school because they could pick him up, and his other grandparent came to pick him up and took him to his house, and I beat it over to the hospital. It's just 10 minutes away from me. And again, right, I'm getting from my son-in-law, it's not going to be, and it's like, I just knew I need to be there. I need to be there. I had my iPad. I had just everything I would need to like camp out overnight at the hospital, even though I'm 10 minutes away. And I knew I wasn't going to be in the room with Steve and Ashley, and that was a-okay. I was totally fine with that. But by darn, I'm going to be out in the lobby there. And she came 11:35ish, right around then, and I was there. I was there. So not during the birth, but I heard my baby granddaughters, my first baby girl granddaughters, cry, and I made it for the room. And oh, to see my baby have a baby. The 8-year-old is her stepson. So I said my step-grandson, but he's still my grandson. So, you know, those are things. God is good. Not everything's going to be perfect. We're going to have trials. We're going to have things that happen. And do I get down in life? I do. I do. There's times where I just feel like, oh, why am I feeling like this? And help me get out of this kind of funk. And I do. He restores a feeling inside me of the joy and the peace that surpasses all understanding. So anyway, I ramble a lot. So the first, 5 minutes is probably what you came to listen to. But I just love you guys all so much. We all are on this earth together, so let's be, regardless of our political or religious or any kind of views, let's just link arms and just be kind, be caring, be compassionate, be giving. So, servant hearts, right? So anyway, I don't think there's any, it's probably just Sarah. Hi, Beverly. Trials and tribulations are what makes us strong. Absolutely. Hey, girl, thank you for that. And I'll check on those later. It's hard for my 60-year-old eyes to see, but thank you for those who stuck around. And just appreciate you getting it to your replay. Let me know where you're checking in from, and hopefully this has been of value to you. And anyway, so God bless. Take care. Enjoy your evening, and have a blessed Sunday. Bye-bye.